How's it, punters? Welcome back to the Best Sports Betting Podcast. We're going to have a short one today, not too much going on outside of football. And we're going to be taking a look at some of the double week Premier League results, Champions League games coming up, have a quick chat about the F1, and then take a look at the upcoming weekend of Premier League. Simon, let's start off with the Grand Prix. I think that was probably the most interesting. Well, maybe not the most interesting talking point sports-wise, but lots of drama in that one when it came to the bigger names.
Yeah, sure. Well, it was all Red Bull this weekend at Imola. Verstappen and Perez finished first and second. It's actually their first 1-2 finish since Malaysia in 2016. So very, very good result for Red Bull. Yeah, and for a change, Ferrari were kind of knocked off their pedestal this weekend. It was it was a terrible race for me from a betting perspective because once again Carlos Sainz didn't make it. He crashed out in Q2. And then he was actually pushed, he was sort of squeezed onto the gravel by Daniel Ricciardo in the actual race. So, I backed him at odds of 8-1, but unfortunately it wasn't to be.
Yeah,
I mean, he made
not
up.
not going to get too hurt at that price though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was always a long shot. He actually, I mean, he made up a lot of places. He actually raced really well until the end, but it wasn't enough. But yeah, I mean, Verstappen controlled the race like a boss. I mean, he had pole position. And the great thing I think for Red Bull in this race was that his teammate Sergio Perez kind of created a sort of barrier protection against Leclerc, who was in third for most of the race. He actually ended up down in sixth, but for most of the race, Leclerc was in third, and Perez was able to sort of keep Leclerc behind Verstappen, which was a very nice sort of team dynamic. It reminded me kind of how the race ended at the end of last season in a similar situation where they're protecting Hamilton. But anyway,
Oh, Hamilton
um,
got lapped by Verstappen.
yeah, but
What-
he
Who would have
did
thought, eh?
absolutely. I mean, it's amazing what a difference a few months can make.
Yeah.
I mean, it was actually quite interesting seeing Verstappen's reaction to that as well, because he kind of, when the interviewer asked him, yeah, so you ended up lapping Verstappen, then he sort of looked very nonchalant, like, yeah, so what, this is Hamilton 2022 version, like
Yeah.
big deal.
It's not peak Hamilton.
But yeah, interesting. I mean, I said before the season started, George Russell might outperform Hamilton, and he's been doing so almost every week. I mean, it seems like he's a lot more comfortable in the new Mercedes car than Hamilton. And as you say, obviously Hamilton was even lapped at the end of the race, so by Verstappen. But yeah, I mean, look, in terms of the overall standings after the race, obviously not the best result for Ferrari, but Leclerc is still a comfortable 27 points ahead of Verstappen in the drivers' championship. But Red Bull made up big
looking
ground.
much better. Yeah.
Yeah, they made up big ground in the constructors, and now they're only 11 points behind Ferrari. So, looking interesting now. And yeah, we'll next week we'll go to Miami for the first Miami Grand Prix, which I'm very excited about. Also, a
Could
street course, kind of like Monaco, not quite as tight as Monaco, but it should be a good one for the fans, and I think it'll be quite an interesting race.
could be seeing the start of some Red Bull dominance as well.
Yeah, possibly.
Just with no one else. Well, I mean Ferrari's there, but I see if they have the longevity. Then Simon, some Premier League. I fancied. I was mulling over it in the podcast, and eventually I went with Liverpool and over 2.5 goals, and that was the right call as Liverpool
Well,
smashed Man United 4-0.
yeah, sure. I think we were spot on with this one, and we liked the Reds on the handicap, and they certainly delivered. I think, I mean, the two sides look divisions apart, quite honestly. They really did. I mean, at times it looked like Liverpool playing a championship team. Um, they completely dictated the game, and I mean, obviously now that was sort of, I guess, the nail in the coffin. United confirmed Eric Ten Hag now as
Yeah,
their new manager, so he's only going to be joining on the 12th of July, though. So actually, during the off season, he'll start managing United,
that's
which
right.
is.
I think that's the right call to do.
Me too. Actually,
Uh,
I think it's a good call too. I think of course, when you hire a new manager, good things often happen immediately, and there's a sort of change in form. But I think, to be honest, I think it'll be better for United just to not rock the boat and just bring him in the off season. It'll actually be for a match when they play Liverpool in Thailand in Bangkok exhibition match on the 12th of July. So that's will be his first day at the helm. But yeah, one match we disagreed on was Chelsea Arsenal,
yeah,
and I,
yeah.
I couldn't. I thought Chelsea were a bit short in the odds there, and it turned out that the Gunners actually put them away 4-2.
Yeah, Gunners have
Um,
done a complete 180 with their recent form.
they have. I mean, they've solidified their spot now in the top four because they then beat United 3-1 at the Emirates. So yeah, just the way they started the season, it's hard to believe that they're actually vying for a Champions League place. I mean, do you remember how
Yeah,
bad it was this
yeah.
first 4 or 5 matches? But I'm relieved to actually seeing them play like this. I must say, watching the Gunners when they are playing well, they're a very very fun team to watch. And yeah, I must say I'm rooting for them.
Problem is, there's just no consistency around them. They just seem so temperamental. They'll have a nice win, like a run of. I mean, you look at who they lost to in the weeks before. You flip those results around
Yes.
any other season, and you think shit, they're going to pick up points against the small teams, and they've struggled against the big teams this season. But
Yeah.
they've
Well,
changed that.
I think maybe now that we've seen a decent run of form, Will things can turn around. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think they've got now that they really have a very realistic chance of playing in the Champions League. I hope that they will be
yeah.
more consistent.
Spurs are fluffing that one pretty badly as well.
Yeah, and
Uh,
we had the Merseyside derby as well on Sunday,
mm.
and yeah, Toffee's now. I mean, flirting with relegation,
Yes, they
man.
actually are
So
on the relegation zone, huh? So
yeah, yeah. They're 7 points above Watford, so obviously, they only need sort of maybe one or two more positive results to kind of push above, depending on how Watford do. But funny enough, the last time Everton were relegated was the 1950-51 season, so that was
wow.
more than 70 years ago. So let's hope. Well, if you're an Everton fan, you certainly hope Frank Lampard won't rewrite the history books.
Yeah, if he sees the season out, eh?
Yeah,
And yeah, then Newcastle picking up a good win against Crystal Palace. That was Newcastle just on the charge, up the table again.
yeah,
Pretty impressive. And then on the second set of game weeks, obviously we had Arsenal beating Man United. I
mm,
was after that win against Chelsea. That was a kind of just a really strong bet. I think
mm,
that I hope some guys got on it. City just running rampant against Watford, and then Newcastle picking up a 3-0 away win to Norwich. Look, Norwich are terrible, but
yeah.
it's a good result to pick up on the road against look, they are relegated. Well, not quite yet, but one
Yeah,
of those sides that are really struggling. Something that Newcastle usually would scuff or fluff or
yeah.
make hard work of.
Well, I think it's also it's good to see this just before they play Liverpool this weekend. We'll get to the previews shortly, I'm sure. But I think they're picking up some form. Look, they're definitely safe now, and they can kind of just play for position, right? Just try and get as high up the table as
Mm,
possible. I mean, the more money that they can have to spend next season, the better it'll be for them. So not that money's short, obviously, but I think that if we can try and have a strong
yeah,
push.
it's a positive way to end the season.
Yeah.
With a high league. I mean, gosh, I can't even remember when last we even finished close to the top
Yeah, it's
10.
been a long
It's
time.
usually
Long time.
14, 15,
Yeah.
around there. And yeah, Liverpool beating Everton, not much to say there. Chelsea putting away West Ham, putting a dent in their top four chances for West Ham. And that pretty much summed up the Premier League. We had quite a few draws, a couple of boring draws. But yeah, Champions League, Simon, we've got some cool matches coming up. We're up to the semi-finals.
Mm.
And we've got City taking on Real Madrid. That's the highlight for me. And then we've got Liverpool taking on Villareal. Both the English sides playing at home.
Yeah, it's nice to have one game this evening,
Yes,
just so you can
yes.
actually just put your full attention on it. So yeah, right, semi-final, sure, really just getting to the business end now. Um, yeah, I think City are the right side here, but I can't imagine Real Madrid make it easy for them.
No, no.
I really can't. And I must say there's actually a bet that I quite like here, and I'm sort of quite surprised because when I looked at this match, I thought, oh, I don't know, but I think City to win and both teams to score at odds of 2.61, and you might find a better price. That's what I found at GBets. And look, it's actually quite for a both teams to score and team to win bet. It's not exactly the biggest odds, but I think it's got a very nice chance of landing because I really think Real Madrid are going to put up a good fight here. But I think City are the right side to be on. So I think a 2-1,
Yes, 2-1 is
three
what I'm leaning.
two. I mean, there could be lots of goals in this. I just think that City are going to get over the line, but I can't see Real Madrid not putting a goal behind the net. I mean,
No.
it's yeah, I think it looks like a very very nice bet, and I think City to win straight up is just it's just not enticing enough
No,
odds.
1.5 is a little short.
Yeah, but at the same time, although that 1.5 is short, it doesn't make me want to jump on Real Madrid. So
No, no.
I think that City to edge a sort of close-ish game, maybe closer than the odds suggest, possibly would be the where I'm going. So I think that's my bet.
And City are looking in good form as well. It's not like they're heading into this match,
No,
with questions around their form. Real Madrid, on the other hand, have pretty much got the La Liga wrapped up.
right? Yeah, by a
So,
long way. Mm.
yeah, it's not exactly a pushover. It's going to be an interesting game. I'm quite happy that we got this for
Yeah.
a well, maybe we can have. Hopefully, I just hope we don't get a City versus Liverpool final. That
Well,
how
that's what the bookmaker's predicting, right?
I know. Yeah, on paper, it definitely seems like that. But I mean, wow,
Yeah.
that what epic tussles that would be
Well,
between.
can you imagine? I mean, there's a very good chance, think about it, that City and Liverpool will play in the Champions League final and they might play on the final week, obviously not against each other, but vying for
For the league.
the EPL title. I mean, that wouldn't that be, I mean, I suppose a little bit boring, but also pretty incredible.
Yeah, and Liverpool, I think, are also in the hunt in some of the other trophies as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, FA Cup still, I think, yeah.
could be a big season for them, but I don't think they'll win it all, especially with City around. And I'm not making a call on those, but yeah, that's the final I'm not hoping for.
Yeah.
I'd love to see like a Madrid versus Liverpool. I think
Mm,
that would probably be my kind of
it
dream
would.
final.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
just out of interest because Liverpool playing so well, Madrid offers something different.
Mm,
Chelsea, Liverpool, we've seen quite a few times.
yeah.
It's not a new fixture. Then tomorrow, Simon, we have Liverpool taking on Villareal, who were the ones that the little David that took down the Bayern Goliath. Big surprises there. I don't think we're going to see
Yeah.
too many surprises in this fixture. I think Liverpool are going to win this one pretty
Sure. I
comfortably.
mean, I mean, this is, you always kind of just think like how, the Liverpool just kind of, whenever they play at home, they just tend to just romp over teams. And you always kind of think they're due a stumble. But at the same time, I mean, I can't bet against them really. Again, I think it's also trying to predict goals in this one, not too easy for me either. So
No,
I think it's a game I'll stay away from. I must say I much prefer the City game from a betting perspective. And I mean, as much as I think Liverpool will probably win this quite comfortably, it's not necessarily one I want to bet.
I like 2-0 here to Liverpool. I think that's going to
Hmm.
be my call here.
Okay.
So I might even just go with the correct score just because,
Yeah.
for more because there's no real value on taking Liverpool.
Yes. Yes.
So I think I'm not sure quite what the odds are on that. I don't see any. Wait, here we go. Correct score 2-0 to Liverpool. You're going to get, where are you? You're going to get 6.4, which is not bad. I'll have a little stab on that.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then with the City game, I think I'm going to go with your 2-1 on that one. I think that's also
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
really nice
Yeah, I
call.
think that both teams to score, City to win looks nice. I mean, as I said, it's not the biggest price for basically it's basically a same match bet builder built into one. So obviously these bets are always a little bit riskier than just taking a match market. But I think that's got a very good chance of landing.
Yeah, 8.6 for City to win 2-1.
Okay.
And actually not a bad double to take City and Liverpool. You're actually getting close to even money on that if you do want to take something a little bit
Yeah.
more conservative and
Mm,
you want to get a bit more involved. So I
yeah.
think that's looking pretty decent. Right then, we've got some EPL action coming up. We've got the big one, which is Man United versus versus Chelsea. That's taking place on Friday or Thursday, I think it is. So a
Yeah.
bit of a warm up for the weekend.
Yeah, that's an earlier game. Yeah, quite a big clash. I mean, I just United just sort of keep going from bad to worse.
Yeah, I
I just
can't back them here.
I can't. Yeah, I can't. I mean, despite Chelsea's poor performance against Arsenal on the weekend, I think Chelsea draw no bet at 1.62. Nothing wrong with that. I think
Yeah,
that's quite a solid bet actually.
yeah. I'm not getting overly involved in this one. I think
Mm,
that there's not a heck of a lot to play for either of these sides. So yeah, probably leaning Chelsea Chelsea, that drawn a bet or the double chance that you mentioned, I think would be a
Yeah.
good one. Then Newcastle taking on Liverpool. This one I can guarantee you is going to be
Yeah.
a Liverpool winner.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's one
I
of our
must say,
bogey teams.
I'm very excited about this one. I have a good
Yes.
friend. I have a very good friend who's a Liverpool supporter, and we always have a sort of standing mandate
So do I. And
at the
Liverpool have
pub.
gotten the better of us over the last
They
decade.
have, but I must say, I don't think there's any look. I don't think there's any value in backing Liverpool here, and I don't
No,
necessarily want to get with Newcastle on any kind of handicap.
no.
But I do have a speculative bet, and it's just more of a gut feeling than anything. I haven't looked at any stats or anything related to this, but I just think Newcastle to score first in the match at odds of 3.3 or 23 to 10. I think that is a nice speculative bet, and that's definitely one I'm going to be taking just for shits and giggles. I just think Liverpool will chase down any team. So they concede a goal. I mean, I could totally see them conceding an early goal and then just beating Newcastle 4-1 or
Yeah.
something. But I just think that odds of 3.3 is quite generous actually on Newcastle just to nick a goal first. I mean, both teams to score is 1.94. I'm not interested in that.
No.
I think
No.
Liverpool could just as easily obviously keep a clean sheet here. So I just think for a bit of value, Newcastle to score first is a nice speculative bet there.
Yeah, I don't have any betting opinions on this one. It's also, I mean, look, Liverpool's going to win in my opinion. Maybe Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals. That might be another one that
I
I would
imagine that's
look
going to
at.
be around evens, huh?
I'm
Or
just having a
even
look
under
now. Total, so Liverpool
1.8
and
or
over is going to be just even money. So
even money.
yeah,
Okay, that's not
yeah.
terrible. Yeah,
Liverpool and over 1.5 is 1.6. Not interested in that.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm not going to be getting involved in that one. But I'm pretty confident it's going to be a win for Liverpool.
yeah,
Not that Newcastle can't pull a result out, but this Liverpool side is just it's just too strong.
yeah. Well, funny enough, that my Liverpool fan mate he said he's more worried about this game than he has been about any game of the season.
I can imagine because Newcastle are looking a lot better. I think a month or 2 months ago you probably would have had this as an absolute banker. But
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They play so well against the very very best sides, but this is the kind of game. I mean, I can look back on many games I've watched with him where he's lost to Wolves or to Aston Villa or something, just when it's totally unexpected. So yeah, who knows?
And yeah, then we've got a few also ran games, a lot of also ran games actually. I think the only other one kind of really worth talking about is a similar fixture for City where they visit Leeds, also in a very similar position
Mm,
for Liverpool. Well, for that match, so it's hopefully both of those sides pick up a win just to keep the league interesting towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, another game that I was looking at, a bit of a London derby there was West Ham hosting Arsenal, and I must say
Mm,
I don't think that 8 to 10 is a great price on Arsenal,
no,
but
not at all.
if you think just a couple of weeks ago, I think Arsenal would have been about 12 to 10, but I still think the momentum's with them, and I think they're probably a pretty good bet. I don't think you're
Yeah,
getting good value. I don't think you're getting good value, but I think that Arsenal are gonna beat West Ham.
yeah. I think that's probably going to solidify their top four
Mm,
spot. Well, I mean, Spurs are taking on Leicester. You never know with Spurs. They're
yeah.
too unpredictable. And then Man United taking on Brentford. Man United really should pick up a win there. I think it might snap their losing streak because I don't see them getting a result against Chelsea. Yeah, that's kind of like an extra fixtures, couple of extra fixtures of the game week. So
Mm.
I think that might be a solid bet there to take a stab, especially if United lose to Chelsea.
Oof,
Might be
sure.
worth.
Can't touch United at the moment.
Yeah, I know. But Brentford, I think they've had their season. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think if I was going to have a bet there, and I haven't looked at the odds, it would probably be both
Both
teams to
teams to
score.
score.
You're
Yeah,
probably getting I imagine you're getting odds against it, possibly.
yeah. Not
Uh,
quite sure. I'll check quickly what those odds
let's
are.
see. I mean that's
Yeah, it's
so
1.75. Not too bad.
1.75. Okay, so it's actually odds on. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm surprised actually that is. That's the bookies have shared it to that side. I would have thought it would have been odds against, but yeah, I'm not surprised though, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like that's
Man United are leaking goals like Harry Maguire. It's just
yeah,
all those memes. It's not really working out for him. But yeah, so that's pretty much the podcast wrapped up. I don't think there's anything else really to talk about. The Marties lost the Varsity Cup last night, actually. Something that we might as well touch on. I think they were playing Tux or something like that. Bit of a surprise there.
Sure.
I tuned in and the score was like 23-10, and I was like, okay, well that's a wrap. And then missed out on an epic comeback and a win there. So
She said that's Varsity Cup, eh?
Varsity Cup, yeah.
Sure. I haven't followed any of it this season.
Well, there's not too much rugby. There's not too much other rugby to follow.
No, there's not.
I mean,
Super Rugby. IPL, have you been watching any IPL?
No, I have not. I don't know.
I've caught the odd game.
I prefer watching international T20. I think that holds a bit more interest to me rather than these super teams.
Well, yeah, the India tour is going to be. We're going to go tour India in June, so that should be nice. The T20s there for South Africa.
Yeah, hopefully that's going to be on at a decent time, probably in the morning or late afternoon or something. Yeah.
Sure. I'm not even sure what the Indian time difference is.
Like 6 hours or something like that. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we can come back with a result. But yeah, no Formula One this week. I don't think there's much in the way of any decent golf or.
No, nothing really. No tennis really either. So it's a very, very quiet weekend actually.
Quiet weekend. Well, the punters have been paid and nothing to bet it on, so they might as well bet it
Yeah,
on
exactly.
the Premier League.
For sure.
But yeah, that wraps up the episode, guys. It was a short one. Best of luck with your bets. I think I like those two bets that I had. I'm going to just recap them. That's Simon gave us a 2-1 for City against Real Madrid. And then I like Liverpool to pick up a kind of 2-0 win there as well in their match. So that's where I'm going with my predictions. I'm not saying they're my bets because I don't think I'll be putting too much on them. It's just more for fun. But hopefully they do come out as a win. Simon, what would be your kind of pick of the week?
Yeah, so I wouldn't go. My prediction there in the City Real Madrid game is City to win and both teams to score. So okay. I wouldn't go with the correct score bet there. I'll go with that with City to win and both teams to score at 2.661. But yes, I think 2-1 could very easily be a result. So yeah, that would certainly be my strongest Champions League bet. And then, look, it's just a fun one, but I think Newcastle to score first against Liverpool at 3.3. That would be my other bet. I don't have any strong leans for the Premier League otherwise.
Right, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Best Sports Betting Podcast. We'll have some lacquer competitions that I'll be posting up this week. Not sure if there's going to be a live stream tomorrow. And I don't know if you caught that, Simon. I actually won in the jackpot race last.
I did see that. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, How much was it?
I was $1.5 grand. It only took me 14 jackpot races to get it. So
you paid your dues.
I paid all the other punters' dues, all the other punters' jackpot race wins. But yeah, it was a good time. Go check that video out if you guys haven't seen it yet. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in the episode, and we'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.